And he's also going to grab this 200-point P bag from this desert, or this graveyard encounter. All right, MiRai is going to do something that can be scary for less experienced runners or runners who have problems with combat, and that is dip Maze Island without downstab. Yeah, it's looking like it. Because that connector cave is... Well, I mean... Have we seen there's a bridge tile on Maze Island, and I don't think we know where that goes yet. So Coper's now found Maze Island and also saw the cave, the connector cave to the hammer, blocked cave. Alright, jkoper is the first to find an item here on Maze Island. MiRai continuing to explore. We've got a flute. So, you know, we haven't seen the east yet. We don't know if we have a three-eyed rock or a possibly useful river devil. jkoper's looking for the second item now. MiRai still trying to find the first item here on Maze Island. He's going to grab this flute here. And I wonder if jkoper will check this bridge. So we've got what looks like a vanilla east. So we will definitely need that flute for the river devil. Well, yeah, we will definitely need that flute for the river devil and a vanilla east. Okay, jkoper is actually he's gonna check this out here, I think, and see exactly what, yes, so this is a vanilla east. He's gonna check the water tile. And there's the raft. Haha, funny game. So we know that at least one of our raft connectors, oh, MiRai finding Great Palace there in Maze Island. Looking kind of hot pink today. Yeah, it's looking like Raft DM 0. Hopefully no one ever has to go there, but early Raft kind of makes me nervous. MiRai, meanwhile, is going to find the second item on Maze Island, which is a heart container in magic container dropdown. And fire is fairy. jkoper got it down just enough to cast it at magic 2. That it will be very nice. So MiRai's going to get the good news about the vanilla east, while jkoper, meanwhile, is here in Sunken Peabag Cave, which I think MiRai is probably about to follow him into. jkoper taking a death. Okay, MiRai is going to go check out Darunia. And jkoper is going to find a magic container, which, you know, you love to see it. New Kasuto could possibly be required for something. Granny's basement. Need to make sure we have enough magic. You want to have enough to cast thunder and, you know, maybe shield or reflect or something. So MiRai looking for an encounter skip here. And might have a tough time with these enemies. You know, they're going to be hitting hard on this eastern continent, even at life 4. jkoper in Naburu. And MiRai gets the second encounter skip. We'll find out what is in Darunia and if we have to rescue this child today. Alright. Oh, vanilla reflect in Darunia. So child will be required. jkoper has his jump coming out of Naburu here. Gonna see if anybody knows anything. He is gonna check the bat. Nobody knows anything. MiRai's back on the west. In Vanilla Peabag Cave. So, let's see. Let's see what this item cave has in store for us on MiRai's side. Meanwhile, jkoper taking the raft to Death Mountain. Another heart container for MiRai out of Peabag Cave. Darunia with spell. Okay. My bad. Okay. jkoper is dipping Death Mountain here. I'm not sure if he got a hint that I missed, but he finds Hammer Cave pretty quickly. Meanwhile, MiRai is continuing overworld exploration on the west and is in Medicine Cave. So let's see, MiRai finds the candle. Okay, it's early enough in the game that you know, might be advantageous for him. jkoper taking a death here in this elevator room in Death Mountain in Hammer Cave. Let's see if he makes it through here. I think MiRai, I think we'll see him pick up fire. Just trying to figure out whether that was fire or life. He's gonna skip it. He's gonna skip it, and he's gonna go into Trophy Cave, and let's see. I wonder if he goes back to get this fire spell, which we know is fairy. Oh, for a 1-up. For a 1-up. This is a well-coded video game. We have, and jkoper just went all the way through Hammer Cave for a P-bag. And like, yeah, it's a 500-point P-bag, and that's nice, but it's a P-bag. So, you know, that right there is one reason why I prefer to never go to Death Mountain unless I know something is in there, either because I got a hint that something is in there or because I'm hard last locationing it. And I am willing to take the hit and hard last location items in Death Mountain once in a while if it means that most of the time I never have to go there. Yeah, Irene, VT, this Trogdor sprite looks great for jkoper. Okay, good. MiRai did go back and pick up fire. Does not cast it right away. Might wait since it's expensive, might wait to be on the screen where there's enemies. He doesn't know it's fairy, so that way he might take an encounter and see if it's maybe thunder or reflect. Alright, Palace 4 here on the west. jkoper finding that Maze Island cave again, noping out, is going to finish his western overworld exploration. Okay, jkoper finds the front of Jump Cave. And, you know, we don't really need to take connector caves with an island biome and boots. MiRai is gonna go into Palace 2 here. This grape-colored Palace 2. I kind of like this color. And I just missed what... Trogdor is a dragon, I think. There are people in chat who know more about the lore of Trogdor than I do, I think. Dragon Man. Okay, that works. Hey, go west to find the boots. Thanks, game. That was helpful. So jkoper knows the trophy is in the east, and when the hint says the east, that will be an overworld check. So, since he has already checked the water tile, he knows it can't be there. That leaves, and he has checked Sunken Peabag Cave, and he knows it can't be there. So that leaves 4 overworld checks, where the trophy could possibly be. Risen Peabag Cave, Desert Tile, and the 2 locations in New Kasuto, which count as overworld checks. See what we have for free. This is going to be life here in Rauru. MiRai's still exploring here in Palace 2. We haven't seen an item yet or a helmet head. And Palace 2 can be long. It can be on the trolley side. MiRai's going to skip that red jar since he still has full magic. And finds a dead-end room. jkoper, meanwhile, finds these very far western islands on the western continent. And MiRai also learning about Fire Fairy. So that is definitely... It always amazes me the difference between, systems and capture cards and configurations. jkoper just looked at the same palace that MiRai's in right now. It is a much darker purple on his side. And we'll see if he takes a dip in there. Getting his 1-up. Kind of disappointing there out of Trophy Cave. And MiRai does find his way to Helmet Head here in Palace 2. Very squishy Helmet Head on attack 4 there for MiRai. He's going to get a triple level out of this palace. Meanwhile, jkoper is going to do these overworld checks, Peabag Cave and Trophy Cave, that MiRai has already done here on the western continent. And at 14 minutes and about 40 seconds, MiRai has placed the first gem in Palace 2. jkoper picking up that heart container. And MiRai went up on heart containers over koper because MiRai found both items on Maze Island, whereas jkoper only found the flute and then got distracted by that bridge to the east and has not been back to Maze Island to find that second item. So MiRai is going to head back into Palace 2, looking for the item here. No, we don't have anything crazy. Koper's gonna grab his candle. We have a just vanilla east, just straight vanilla. Death Mountain is not vanilla shuffled. It might be a caldera, possibly. jkoper dipped in for briefly, found Hammer Cave really quickly, and then left. So nothing really crazy in this seed. Yeah, Hammer Cave ended up being a bust. Koper went all that way for a 500-point P-bag. I mean, you don't hate to see a P-bag early, but you know, at the same time, it was not progression. Okay. Looks like jkoper is going to pick up downstab at the very least. I doubt, I mean, I don't know, even if we see him get the hint for shield, it might just be so he knows what palace he can avoid looking for an item in. I don't think we're going to see him come back here and get shield. MiRai continuing to look for this item in Palace 2. jkoper is going to get the hint, go east to find the medicine. So we'll see if he picks it. I mean, he might pick it up. We'll see if he comes back for it. I think he probably won't. Alright, here's the item room for MiRai. I think he forgot he had a key there. Although, he might have wanted to use Fairy anyways, just to get through this room faster. And grabs an additional heart container. So this puts MiRai at 7 heart containers. Gotta be feeling pretty good about his health right now. And he is out of P2 with his gem placed and the item, just as jkoper heads into Palace 2. So we're going to see jkoper do what MiRai just did in here, except for jkoper has downstab. MiRai has not been back to Mido yet, but I think is headed there right now. Pick up his downstab. Now MiRai is headed to Ruto to see where he needs to go hunt for this trophy to get his required Thunder Spell. Because we will have to fight T-Bird today in this flag set. Yeah, I mean, I can see that with MiRai's ability to, you know, kind of kick this game's butt with combat. Yeah, I mean, if you have that kind of skill, I don't blame him for putting it off, because, like, you'll probably need it in GP, maybe. But if you don't need it to get through the rest of the game, why bother? jkoper, I think, knows this is a dead end, but is maybe looking for some XP for a level up, maybe looking for a key at the end of this. He does not get anything at the end of that, so decides to nope out. Meanwhile, let's see, MiRai confirming that that is indeed the Maze Island connector. Not wanting to go in there just yet. I think jkoper is on the path towards Helmet Head. I'm not sure where MiRai found that item in relation to Helmet Head, but I remember these rooms. Alright, MiRai has now found Magic Container Cave. So he'll pick up his cross, as we saw jkoper do earlier. And Koper finds a dead-end Minecraft room. Up and A's back to start. Yeah, I think it's dangerous to go into GP without downstab. Alright, so there's our hammer. MiRai, the first to check out our grass tile tonight on the west, finding the hammer. So he can get through this boulder blocked cave into Maze Island this way if he wants to. Animus United, thank you for the raid. Welcome in, raiders from Animus's channel. I saw you were doing some Zelda 2 Seed Vault seeds. Hope that went well for you. Alright, so MiRai is into Mido now and will most likely pick up downstab as long as he's here. Yes, he is going for downstab. jkoper continuing to explore here in Palace 2, looking for an item or a helmet head. Trail seeds are fun, but you got hungry. I mean, you know, sometimes a person's just got to eat. All right, jkoper working on these enemies with pretty low life here. Most likely will only be able to take 1, maybe 2 more hits before he's dead, depending on what he gets hit by. And says no to that room there, but does get another 200 point P-Bag. MiRai showing us a nice use of pause buffering there to not really manipulate the overworld spawns, but kind of, you know, figure out where he can go while he's paused so he doesn't hit them. Okay, MiRai is going to head over to this eastern continent. We've got a Vanilla East tonight. And is going to check this water tile. We've seen jkoper do this, so we know this is the raft. And I think since that was what I think MiRai has seen all... Okay, this is Palace 3 or Palace 6 here. The Ocean Palace on the east. MiRai is going to dip into it. jkoper finding this item here in Palace 2. This will be a heart container for him. I think since MiRai has seen all of the overworld checks now in the west, we're going to see him explore this east a bit. Yes, Kirby, fire is fairy. You know, not super cheap yet on Magic 4. And, you know, only 4 magic containers for MiRai and 5 for jkoper, but, you know, that cost will definitely decrease as these two level up their magic. Okay, jkoper is still looking for Helmet Head. MiRai is in Palace 6 here, so we will be looking for our friendly neighborhood dragon, Barbara Streisand. Not the glove block version of that room. I think MiRai is probably happy about that. He'll give him another pathway to check. As jkoper finds his way to Helmet Head, and this should be an easy fight for him. We saw how squishy Helmet Head was on attack 4 for MiRai. Easy peasy. MiRai is not happy about something. Okay, jkoper placing his first gem. And has been able to get attack. He's been able to take attack 5 coming out of Palace 2. So that is nice for him. MiRai taking magic 5 here. And he's got fire, which is fairy, down to 19. Which is that, you know, that now he can cast it 3 times on only 4 magic containers at magic 5. So that's pretty good. That gives him an extra cast of fairy to get through some of those doors. Keys are in the drop pool, but we have not seen the magic key. And let's see, what is jkoper going to do? So he's going to head back to Maze Island. I wonder if we will see him look for the second item. Okay, he's going to check the palace. We've got the Rebanak mini-boss here on MiRai's side. This may or may not be the item in Palace 6. This room is not guaranteed to lead to the item. jkoper discovering Great Palace there on Maze Island. And here is the second item, so he will now also have 7 heart containers. So now, what is jkoper going to do? MiRai knew that room was a dead end. I think he was hoping for some XP from that blue iron knuckle, but instead took a death and decided not to go back and kill it again. jkoper heads to the east. Will we see him dip into P6 as well? It looks like he's headed that way. And yes. So far, 2 purple palaces for these runners. MiRai is heading back the way he came. 500 point P-Bag there, that's nice. He's going to take life 6. So another triple level in this palace from MiRai. That was a nice trick with the sword beam there. And again, well done to get the stab on both of those raw heads at the same time. MiRai once again forgetting that he had a key for that door. Alright, and jkoper, also seeing that this is not the glove-blocked version of that room, is going to head in the same direction as MiRai. And then go back up when he sees that locked door. Meanwhile, MiRai is through that locked door and is going to take on all of these iron knuckles. So far, jkoper is basically doing exactly the same thing that MiRai has done. MiRai finds a dead end. Up and A's back to start. Let's see if there is more divergence for him in this palace, or if we have a glove block on our hands. Alright, jkoper has found his way to the Rebanak mini-boss. No eco key strats from MiRai, unfortunately. 2 MOAs, ouch. Oh, but MiRai did find the way to Barba. We have an indoor Barba today. So we're not going to see that outdoor barbecue, but see how we do with Barba on attack 4 here. Looking not too bad for MiRai. Attack 4 is actually looking pretty decent today. So, at least the boss in this palace is not glove locked. Still not sure about the item. It looks like there was at least one path that MiRai hadn't tried yet. And Barba down. So MiRai is about to place his second gem of this match. As jkoper also backtracking like we saw MiRai do just a few minutes ago. Alright, and this is going to be attack 5 for jkoper, or for MiRai as soon as he gets to either a town or an encounter screen. He did not wait in the palace. He's going to take attack 5 here in Niburu. And he'll grab jump here as well. jkoper looks like is farming this dripper to get his magic up to magic 5. Those blue iron knuckles like one hit when they come from the dripper. MiRai taking some water to Thirsty Lady there. You know, I know that everybody thinks that she's just kind of lazy, but really it's just she's got to make sure that her drunk uncle stays safely in the basement. Doesn't wreak any havoc on the unsuspecting citizens of Niburu. That's really why. Alright, jkoper going through this room here. This is a dead-end room. He may or may not know that. He might be looking for a key. Didn't care about the experience. So we're going to see him up in A back to start. And we know Barba's not glove locked, so I'm expecting jkoper to find Barba here pretty soon. MiRai did not go back into P6 for the item either. He noped right out of there, went straight to Nibiru, picked up Jump Spell. And now we see him here in Sunken Peabag Cave, where he's going to pick up his first magic container of the game at 32, almost 33 minutes. No eco key strats from jkoper either, as he uses Fairy Spell and does find Barba pretty much immediately. MiRai grabbing that magic container. jkoper gets to fight Barba on attack 5 here, which is not... Maybe MiRai is doing a cleaner job of the double stabs. This is not noticeably better than attack 4 to me. Alright, here goes MiRai into Death Mountain. Taking that raft. Oh, jkoper in the lava. Taking a dip. Taking a lava bath, but Barba was down, so he is going to be able to collect his 100-point P-Bag and place his second gem here at 34 minutes and 3 seconds. Okay, MiRai out of Death Mountain. I don't blame him. You know, we still have at least the desert tile and well, potentially one check in New Kasuto. I think neither of these two have spell because they don't have the child and it's in Darunia. I think Death Mountain is a Caldera Psychonaut. Neither runner has explored deep enough into it for me to tell. It's not vanilla shuffled, unfortunately. Or fortunately, if you're the runners. Alright, MiRai's gonna go up here into Risen Peabag Cave and give us our first look in here. As we see jkoper using the Fairy Feet screen wrap trick to get through those Wilson encounters. Key 2 is going to head towards Risen Peabag Cave. And it's the glove, alright. So, what do we need for go mode? We need to find the reflect spell, and we need to grab that trophy, which is somewhere on the east in one of 3 places now, either that desert tile or in one of the 2 New Kasuto checks. And jkoper picking up his glove as well. Here in Risen Peabag Cave. MiRai's gonna head around the lake there, I think, checking... Okay, so he sees that New Kasuto is hidden. He is going to the desert tile for... Okay, so he was hoping that the medicine, or the... He was probably hoping that the trophy would be on that desert tile. Because now we know that that trophy is for sure in New Kasuto in one of those 2 checks, since that medicine was on the desert tile. Okay, this is Palace 3 here under Three-Eyed Rock. Both runners gonna head in here. And we haven't... Hammer was on the grass tile on the western continent, which jkoper did not find. Or, well, did not find yet. Yeah, we'll see. I think, you know, neither... Neither runner has, spell. So, if, you know, they could both possibly be in a little bit of trouble, depending. Alright, let's see what we've got in P3. Both runners headed the same way. Very quick Rebanak. Very quick Rebanak. And both runners have downstab. This should be pretty easy for both of them. Looks like attack 5 is pretty solid. jkoper going for the cheese in the corner strat. MiRai fighting Rebo just regular style. Pretty much in-sync kills. MiRai is going to go back to look for the item while jkoper is going to place the gem. MiRai out of magic here, so is going to take a tactical death, maybe? No, just kidding. I think maybe he thought about it and then decided just go down and left forehead. Here's the item. And it's the child, so that is spell for MiRai. jkoper finding a dead end room and is noping out of Palace 3. Now, depending on... Yeah, this could definitely be trouble for jkoper now. He missed Hammer on the west, now he's missing the child from Palace 3. MiRai's going to go back and place this gem. And MiRai's in really good shape. He is pretty much, you know, Trophy Go mode, and he knows Trophy is in New Kasuto. Meanwhile, jkoper did find Reflect for free in Old Kasuto, so that's nice. At least something's free. Well, I guess Fairy was also free with Fire, so can't really complain about things not being free today. MiRai is also about to pick up his Reflect spell. And at this point, jkoper has done these overworld checks. He knows that Trophy is in New Kasuto. And he knows it's not open. And he is now realizing he does not have the hammer. I'm not sure what kind of tracker he uses, but I cannot see it on his screen. So I'm not sure if he knows that he needs to go back to the west. I'm not sure if he knows, he doesn't know he needs to go back. I'm not sure if he realizes that he missed that check on the west. He doesn't use a tracker. Alright. Mad lad. jkoper's gonna head into Valley of Death. Meanwhile, MiRai... So Fairy would have been free anyways. And 5 magic containers is enough for Granny's basement today. Magic locked magic, so we have a 6 magic container. And we are going to need the spell for the trophy. So... MiRai is going to head back to Darunia with this child to get spell. So then he can come back to New Kasuto to get his trophy out of the spell tower. Meanwhile, jkoper is headed through Valley of Death. Probably gonna try and go beat this palace. Since Jake, we don't have any hammer hints or anything like that. jkoper could be in a bit of a bind here, full clearing palaces that he doesn't need to when Hammer is just sitting out on the Western Overworld. We have Palace 1 here in Valley of Death. So, MiRai is also headed into Valley of Death now. Get smart for him to clean this palace up. So this should be relatively short and sweet for these runners compared to the other palaces in this game. Night Shifter, the hammer is on the western continent on the grass tile. And Koper didn't really abandon it, he just didn't go. I believe the grass tile was a little further north than, like, I don't even think he's seen it. Yeah, it's sad. It's too bad, really, because it's just there out in the open. And, you know, even if he gets back over to the west and does realize that he's missing that check at this point, he has to go back to the west, then come back to the east. He's also left the child in Palace 3, the child which is required for spell, because we know, since MiRai has done all the Eastern Overworld checks except the one, that the trophy is locked in the spell tower in New Kasuto, the trophy which is required for Thunder. So jkoper's in kind of a bad spot here, you know, leaving the child in Palace 3 and leaving the hammer on that grass tile. This is Psychonaut's beautiful seed. But jkoper has found Horsehead, and Horsehead is now glue. Very quick at attack 5. Okay, 4th gem place for jkoper. And even though he has the gem advantage for now, he is definitely behind in this race. You know, MiRai is in no mode, essentially. You know, he knows where the trophy is, knows he needs it for Thunder, knows how to get it, knows that he needs to go back to Darunia and get spell. He's just got to go do all the things. So this puts MiRai at a huge advantage, because not only does he pretty much have what he needs for go mode minus the trophy, he can go mode these palaces now, and he does not have to full clear them. Okay, jkoper walking out of Valley of Death, not upping Aing back to the west. And let's see what he does next. MiRai is still on his way to find Horsehead here. He's going to check this item room, maybe in hopes of a magic container, the magic key, something useful. No, just to one-up. MiRai says no thank you. jkoper headed out of Valley of Death. And MiRai has found Horsehead. Is going to take a death here, refill his magic so he can cast Fairy and get through the door afterwards. And now he'll take down Horsehead. And I think that was also a tactical death on jkoper's side. MiRai doing a quick job with Horsehead there. I think jkoper wanted his magic back so he could do Fairy Feet there. Skip that bridge encounter. Okay, jkoper has found the medicine on the desert tile, and now he knows. What he needs is in New Kasuto, and New Kasuto is not in an overworld. You know, he knows that he has left something here. Yeah, he doesn't care about shield, is not going to turn in that medicine for anything. But he is going to dip P4 here. He's got Reflect, why not? MiRai also back on the west. And I think for him this was just faster than okay, maybe he is going to clean some of this stuff up on the west before he goes to get spell. Both runners in Palace 4. Jkoper finding a dead end. Turning around and going back. And MiRai is gonna take this right here instead of going up like Jkoper. See different parts of this palace. Jkoper has found a really quick Karak. Oh, MiRai doing the overexcited down stab on the breakable blocks with the glove thing. Giving himself an unwitting lava bath there. So he's just going to use Fairy this time to avoid that happening. RNG boss down for Jkoper. And Jkoper is going to place his 5th gem here at 48 minutes and 37 seconds. He's gonna go back. He's got to go back for this item. He needs the hammer. He needs the child, although I don't think he knows that. I don't think he ever made it over to Darunia, but by process of elimination. Well, no, because he hasn't seen New Kasuto either, so he doesn't know where Fairy and Spell is. So he knows that, you know, New Kasuto and Darunia are the last 2 towns he needs to see for those spells. He just doesn't know which is where. MiRai still looking for Karak here. Jkoper looking for whatever Karak is hiding, and MiRai finds it first. It is the magical key, which, you know, that's a nice find. Jkoper picking his up too. Runners high-fiving each other in the item room here. Jkoper trying to get enough XP to take this next level. He is 18 points away from leveling up, and he's gonna get it right now. So he's got attack 6 now. 6, 6, 6 for his levels, and that was a quick P4. Okay, here we go. Jkoper is going to get the hammer here as MiRai finds Karak. Okay, and Jkoper is... he has words. They're probably fine words. I bet there's probably some gosh dang it's going on, but he has words for that hammer and for that grass tile. MiRai placing his 5th gem. Alright. Both runners going to head into Palace 5. Now, the hammer does not solve all of Jkoper's problems here. He is still down a child, and the child gives the spell in Darunia today. And we know, because all the other overworld checks have been done on MiRai's side, that today the trophy is in the spell tower in New Kasuto. So we need that spell, and thus we need that child. So we are going to see MiRai be able to go mode this Palace 5, whereas Jkoper may full clear it. He may not. He may decide it's too long, it's not worth it. If he doesn't come across the item on the way to Guma, he might risk it that the child is not in here and is in fact somewhere else. But the child is in Palace 3, and that is where Jkoper needs to go. Jkoper standing just a little too long on that piece of crumble bridge, taking a lava bath. Picking up the key there, even though he did just get the magic key from Palace 4. MiRai continuing to explore. Yeah, I agree, Trails. I think if you're going to, especially early on when you don't have hints and you don't have a lot of items, if you're going to full clear palaces, 1 and 3 are the palaces to full clear for sure because they're short. They have the smallest amount of rooms, and even with the potential to roll more rooms, which can happen in the randomizer, they're still going to be smaller generally than the other palaces. Both runners still exploring P5 here. P5 is the longest palace in the game and has the potential to be quite a troll. We have seen it troll many a runner with loops, with just longness in general, with dead ends everywhere. So far, neither of these runners has spent crazy amounts of time in here, but I think jkoper just found a loop. Fairy dead end room. This room on the left will... He'll take this instead. MiRai is going to go back up to the blocks and go right. This room for jkoper. This room is clearable with either glove or fairy. And that's the way. jkoper has found Goomba first. Yep, on his last life. So that's a game over, and he has more words. I think he forgot he was on his last life there. That's too bad. See if MiRai can find his way to Goomba. Although, I don't remember seeing this room. I'm not sure if MiRai... Yeah, this is a dead end. MiRai's not on the right path yet. jkoper's found the item room here in Palace 5. Let's see what Goomba's sitting on today. Goomba sits on the magic jar. Okay, well, you know, that's fine. We don't hate an extra magic jar. And like I said, I do not remember seeing jkoper go up to Darunia on his trip to the Eastern Continent, either of his trips to the Eastern Continent. Oh, we did have a hint. So jkoper knew that Goomba was sitting on the magic jar. Well, okay. MiRai does not care. If he got the hint, he does not care that Goomba sits on the magic jar. He's just like, gimme Goomba. I'm here for the man himself. I don't want whatever he's sitting on. We don't want none of that. MiRai walking back out of here now instead of up in A. And he's going to take this right. jkoper is going to make it through this crumble bridge room without taking a lava bath this time. He knows the way to Goomba, so this shouldn't take him too terribly long. I think he's almost back there. MiRai choosing to ferry through this outdoor room rather than mess with the bubbles and the enemies there. Okay, and I think that, so this is the loop that jkoper found just before he found Goomba the first time. So MiRai is in the right general vicinity. He's going to realize in just a moment that this is a loop when he comes out this other side, and hopefully he goes up one floor and to the left, which is the way to Goomba. And I think, yes, he realizes exactly where he's at. and he is taking that first left, so he is on the right path. Alright, jkoper back at Goomba is going to use jump strats, which we don't often see. And MiRai has found Goomba as well. MiRai not using jump strats, which I think is probably a little more expected. Jump strats working well for jkoper though. Also attack 6 working well for jkoper, who has Goomba down. MiRai taking a death, but he has 2 lives still. Alright, so at 58 minutes and 20 seconds, jkoper has placed his 6th gem. However, he is missing Thunderspell. And our logic for Thunderspell is we need the child from Palace 3. Not quite, Stom. So, jkoper is missing Thunder. And he's missing... To get Thunder, you need the child, which is in Palace 3, which he noped out of before getting the item. He cleared Rebanak and did not tech for the item. He just found the hammer in this last trip to the west on the grass tile. He's going to head to New Kasuto right now and get the bad news that the trophy, which is required for Thunder, is locked in the spell tower. Child needed for spell. So yes, he's going to have to... First, he's going to go to New Kasuto right now and hope that he can get the trophy out of Granny's basement. Then he's going to realize, I can't get the trophy out of Granny's basement. I need to go find the child, because once he sees that Fairy Spell is in New Kasuto, we've seen all the other towns, and he is going to know that the spell is in Darunia. MiRai is getting spell right now. He knew spell was in Darunia. He checked Darunia when he first made it over to the east, so he knew what was there. And he dug the item out of P3, which I think is this pretty... I mean, unless you enter Palace 3 and you're already in Go mode, I think it's always a pretty smart move to clear the item out of it, just to full clear P3, because it is one of the shortest palaces in the game. So MiRai is going to pick up Upstab and his spell while he's here. And then he's going to head back over to New Kasuto, grab his trophy. No, it's not buried. It's really not. Child was... I mean... You know, MiRai did not spend a whole ton of time there. I just think... Yeah, you know, this could be faster than it looks, and GP could be completely awful, and MiRai could make all the wrong choices, and jkoper could make all the right ones. But... You know, we'll see. Yeah, I think jkoper is on his way to the child. He just doesn't know where exactly the child is. I think he knows he needs the child. He knows that Darunia is the only town he hasn't seen and has the only spell that he needs. I hope that he heads back to Palace 3 first, looking for this child, because he's seen every other overworld check. And, you know, Palace 3 really is, I think, his smartest option right now, just because, you know, it's a short palace. And that's exactly what he's going to do. He's going to head back into Palace 3. So this could be a race. Let's wait and see how long it takes Koper to grab the child and go get spell. MiRai is back on his way back to New Kasuto. Yes, Tom, this is the best decision that jkoper could have made to keep this competitive. If he had gone pretty much anywhere else to look for this child, I think it probably would have been game over. But yeah, this is still a race for right now. MiRai still definitely has the advantage, but you know, jkoper's not out of this thing yet. Hopefully he gets in and out of here pretty quickly. The child was not super buried. MiRai out of magic, so he's going to have to do this Wilson encounter the old-fashioned way instead of using fairy feet to skip the encounter. So, after MiRai grabs his thunder, so he's going to grab the trophy, he's got to head back to the west, back to Rudo to get thunder, and then he's got to go to Maze Island down to Great Palace. So, you know, we don't have one of those situations where everything is just right by start in the west today. There's a little bit of traversal that has to occur in order for these runners to get where they need to go. Oh, let's see. I think left here. Yep, that's it. The item was just down this elevator to the left. Alright, and it is the child. Jkoper knows exactly what he has to do now. Back up to Darunia. Back down to New Kasuto. This is just, you know, these vanilla maps. It's just kind of a feels bad with all the walking and the... Like, this is a long way from one to the other. Down on this southern part of the map, all the way back up to the northern part. Through these required encounters, through a pass-through cave, through 2 more required encounters to get to Darunia. It's just kind of a mess. Alright, so with that trophy pickup, MiRai is essentially in go mode. He's just gonna head back to Rudo here on the west. He's gonna turn in that trophy for Thunder. And he is going to head back to Maze Island into GP. Yeah, Animus, child spell. So child for spell for trophy for Thunder. Yeah, it was pretty cute. Pretty cute logic chain there, especially with that Vanilla East and, you know, trophy being in the spell tower in New Kasuto and spell being up in Darunia. Some of these logic chains lately have been reminding me of, you know, gross Link to the Past randomizer logic chains and not so much Zelda 2 randomizer logic chains. MiRai appears to have lost Rudo, which, I gotta be honest, this happens to me all the time in Islands biomes. I lose towns and palaces. MiRai's gonna up an A back to start. Jkoper using the fairy feet trick to get through these encounter tiles so he can get into Darunia quickly. And I have to imagine he's going to grab downs or upstab in here as well. Yep, he's going to grab upstab, turn in the child, grab the spell. Okay, MiRai finds Mito instead of Rudo, and he has some words once again. So he's found Mito and Saria, and we saw him find Raru. And now he's, you know, so MiRai is looking for the town of Rudo. Which he needs to find to turn in the trophy so he can get the Thunder Spell. And I think this is it here in the middle of the... No, that is Raru. MiRai did grab Upstab. MiRai grabbed Upstab and turned in the child for spell when he was in Darunia earlier. Animus is just praising Upstab because, you know, upstab is his favorite ever. Here we go. MiRai has finally found Rudo. Is about to get the Thunder Spell. I mean, they're sort of close, Locke. You know, jkoper still has to go back to New Kasuto, and he has to get that trophy out of the spell tower in the back of New Kasuto. And MiRai just has to go here to Maze Island, where GP is. So, you know, jkoper had to go up to that northern part of the map with the child, back down here to the southern part of the map, and then over to the east through a pass-through cave to grab his trophy. And yeah, I think probably MiRai is going to have about a 5-minute lead or so. He might have lost a few minutes on the trophy hunt. I think we'll have to wait and see. MiRai was in at like 108.30, so we'll have to wait and see what jkoper's time in is. He's going to go through this path-through cave here, and New Kasuto will be under the forest tile on the other side. MiRai not trusting this room. The potential for King Bots is strong. And MiRai's going to try this left at the bottom of the elevator instead. As jkoper finds he gets back to New Kasuto. Couple spicy chickens here. This is a very, very pink great palace on MiRai's side. Yeah, there's a lot of paths in this GP. Lots of early GP, which, you know, maybe means we won't see a ton behind T-Bird. Alright, and here is finally the trophy for jkoper. So he can up and A back to the west. And let's see. Let's see if jkoper remembers exactly how to get to Rudo. He could make up some time here, even though he doesn't know it. Don't you love when you have the boots in an island biome and you still manage to step on the one tile? The one that has the encounter on it out of a whole bridge. Okay, so jkoper did not forget where Rudo was, so this definitely saved him some time over MiRai. So yeah, this is definitely going to keep their times close going into GP. Maybe more of a 3.5-4 minute difference rather than a full 5-minute difference. MiRai still has a slight exploration edge here in GP, but seems like he's found a couple loops here, some dead end rooms. Alright, jkoper in go mode will be headed back to GP now. Hello, Kingbot. Okay, MiRai in this paperclip room here. jkoper headed back to this Maze Island connector. Doing a nice job dodging those overworld encounters. We'll use the boots on this river to get down here quickly. And at 1:12 on the nose, 1 hour 12 minutes, jkoper is here in GP. So, yep, about a 3.5 minute advantage for MiRai. Which, you know, it could make a difference in terms of MiRai's exploration advantage, or jkoper could come in here and god route GP. We don't know yet. There are certainly plenty of branching paths early on. So we'll see. Got some spicy chickens, a couple spicy chickens in this bridge lava room. We've got a blue chicken knight. Got our chicken squad dealing the pain. Yeah, Koper with the immediate left. I think we saw MiRai do this as well. Like we've seen MiRai check out the right and then go left. And we're gonna see Koper just go straight for Koper with Chroma Strats tonight. Oh, doing a nice job saving himself from getting bopped in the lava by King Bot there. Yeah, this is one heckin' loopy GP. Alright, so Koper in that paperclip room where MiRai just was. Probably feels behind because of child. Yeah, I imagine jkoper probably does feel behind. It wasn't just the child too, it was the hammer that was, you know, just wide open on, you know, out on the grass tile, just up for grabs on the west. jkoper left that sitting for a while as well. MiRai has found Thunderbird. Okay. So Thunder 77 on Magic 6, still a little expensive. jkoper does have an attack level up on MiRai as well as a magic container. Okay. jkoper stuck in this loop. MiRai taking one too many bops there from Thunderbird's fireballs. And this is his last life, he's got to be careful here. Alright, I do believe jkoper is on the path to Thunderbird? Question mark? Yeah, we may not see too much more Palace behind T-Bird here. We've seen quite a bit already. This T-Bird fight is going a little better for MiRai. Oh, commentator's curse. Bad Royale, bad. Okay. There he goes on that half bar of health. With half a bar of health remaining, MiRai has defeated Thunderbird, is on his way to find Dark Link. Koper's definitely not going the right way. Do we have a Dark Link up this elevator? We sure do. We sure do. Let's see if MiRai can do this fight without getting dead. So this is MiRai's last life. He should be fine. You know, he's skilled enough at cheesing this fight to not take any hits. Oh, and get your GGs in chat, everyone, for MiRai, who is very, very happy to have finished this race in first place tonight with an official racetime.gg time of 1:16:41. GG's to MiRai. Alright, jkoper has forfeited from the race. I think we might see him continue to play it out, but officially has forfeited in race time. I'm not sure if he'll finish this one out or not. And yeah, it did end up being... He will not. Okay. And this did end up being a lot closer than, I thought it was going to, especially given that jkoper left the hammer sitting on the west for so long, left the child in Palace 3, had to do a lot of back and forth in that vanilla east, some double dipping. And yeah, this is a match for seeding purposes. Both of these runners already in the brackets. MiRai moves to 4-1 with that win, and jkoper drops to 3-2. But 3 wins required to move on to the bracket stage of this tournament. And we are joined by jkoper with us in the comms booth. GG, jkoper.
Hey, thanks. I just want to wait for MiRai to get in.
Yeah, MiRai should be here shortly. He just needed a minute to get his headphones and his mic all set up. And we are joined by MiRai as well. GG's MiRai. Well played.
Hello, GG, jkoper. jkoper. Where were you? What was this looking like? I was so nervous.
I was in GP. I was taking weird routes, and I just hit a dead end, so I figured that was enough exploring. Yeah, I felt very behind because I made 2 big navigation or exploration mistakes. One was I just completely forgot that this other tile existed. So I was already assuming that I was needing the hammer. Well, hold that thought. And I didn't have it. And then I went to 1, and then I went all the way back from 1 to the desert tile to check that, and then I update from there. And I was going to go into 3 at that time, which I should have. That would have been helpful, but I didn't. The other thing was that I just completely missed the grass tile, and I just didn't think about it, and that had the hammer, which was also required, of course. So, yeah, I had all of the gems placed sub-hour, but then I had to go. I found the hammer, and then I had to go to the east again and check the first spot in Nuke Pseudo, and I made sure I grabbed the jar out of 5 before I did that, just to make sure I had 6, and that was nothing. Then I just went and I went immediately to 3. I didn't know what was in there, grabbed the child, and then, I fairy feeded all the way up to Darunia, grabbed spell, went all the way back, and yeah. Then I was in GP, and I just felt behind because of those 2 things, so I took a left immediately. I don't know where Thunderbird was, but there were a couple rights that I had available to me. Yeah, I had a lot left to do, I'm sure, but I was maybe about halfway done with GP.
Yeah. Geez, yeah, the West really messed me up as well. I was kind of all over the place. I left. What was the hammer required for?
To get into Nuke Pseudo?
Oh, right. Duh. Like every time I think hammer, I think just rocks. I just think breaking rocks. I don't think about knocking down the forest. Yeah. Right.
You don't just use your hammer to go knocking down trees on the weekends, MiRai? Come on.
The people of Hyrule need better tools. Yeah, that West. I left behind a handful of caves because I found Maze Island very early on, and I just decided to dig into that.
Same.
Yeah. Okay.
I did the same thing very early, and I actually went all the way into Death Mountain.
Oh.
And then I found the Hammer Cave super early. I went through one connector, and then I found the Hammer Cave. And unfortunately, it just had a P-bag, but I had I was like 40 short of a life level or something, so I didn't want to give that up. And I was just like, well, I'm just going to explore a little bit in here. It would have been even more interesting if I had the hammer when I went in there, but of course that would have just wasted more time at the end. So I finished up at the hammer, and then I went back to the west, and I did everything in the west except for find the grass tile, apparently, which I just completely kind of blanked on. And then Well, I didn't actually do not the palaces. I just did 2 at the start, and then I went back to the east and started clearing out, trying to figure out if I could get the trophy, which I could not, and that was about it. Yeah, kind of straightforward after that, I think. I don't know.
Yeah, this sounds fairly similar. I mean, I completely lost where Rudo was at the end when turning in the trophy. I just combed over the entire islands west, just not knowing where the hell this town was, and it felt so terrible there at the end because it was like I like you say, felt behind because of all this journey from Darunia to New Kasuto and all this back and forth. I hate Vanilla East because of that, but yeah, it just so happened to be the furthest points away from each other had the things that were required to get to the thing that was required for Thunder. And yeah, I also lucked out with 3 because when I first hit the east, I didn't go south. I didn't check any of that stuff. I just walked over to Darunia because I felt like I left way too much behind on the west. And so I just walked over to Darunia to check the spell to see if it was going to be fairy or thunder or something. And I was like, okay, it's spell. I checked the first hint and I got out of there, went back to the west. And I didn't look at anything else on the east. And then all of a sudden, of course, when you clear everything out on the east, except for Spell Tower, and you're like, well, that's the trophy. And now it's time. But I dove 3 as well, like you did, and just lucked out and got the kid. I didn't know that the kid was in 3. So that was.
So you walked all the way to Darunia and you got the hint that spell was there, but you didn't get the hint for where it was. Oh, I guess you're just like, oh, I don't need that. So
well, yeah, I mean, it was
MiRai. Yeah, MiRai when he first went into Maze Island, he dug Maze Island and then went to the east and pretty much went immediately to Darunia.
Yeah.
And found out that spell was there really early.
Yeah, when I went to the east, I just went and I got the items that were available to me. The one, the water tile, and then the pea bag cave that's right there. And then I think I just up and ate from the pea bag cave. No, I got the raft. So then I took the raft tile to Death Mountain.
To Death Mountain, yeah.
Yeah, that's how I ended up there.
Yeah, I hate that entry point on Maze Island Bridge, though, on the east, because it's like there's this huge fork in the road. It's like you either go all the way to Darunia or you check the water tile in the pea bag cave. And I was like, well, I have to go south eventually, and let's just see what's in Darunia. And I'll be honest, I probably should have gotten the hint. It just felt like the spell tower being one thing. I didn't know the trophy was on the east at that point because I had seen so little of the west. And so it was like it felt like such a, I don't know, 3 screens to walk that when I figured that I might be back here again for upstab to walk it again. It was just, I don't know. It was so early in the game. I was like, I left way too much behind on the west. I felt like Maze Island took me a hot minute to complete and it should have been faster. And right off the bat, I felt just I left way too much behind. And fire being fairy. And then I was just like, wow, this is I need to go. And yeah, but losing Rudo was ridiculous, and that feels so terrible.
Yeah. So what was the difference in entering GP?
There's 3.5 minutes between you and MiRai on GP entry, and MiRai probably gave you a good 1.5 minutes back while he was lost looking for Rudo, and you went straight to Rudo after you got Thunder, or after you up and aid back to the west.
But he was first by 3.5 minutes.
He was first by 3.5 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I was right to feel behind, but it wasn't too far behind.
Really, jkoper, for as much as, like, because, I mean, you placed your 6th gem before MiRai did, but you still, like, you didn't have the hammer yet, you didn't have the child, and he wasn't long after you placing his 6th gem. For how much you still had to do, it ended up being a lot closer between you two going into GP than we thought it was going to be.
Yeah. Yeah, I was, other than those 2 little exploration things, I was pretty efficient, I felt like, for the most part. And this seed was a lot of fun with doing fairy feet. I can't believe, I had a few bogus ones in a row, but I had so many that were just super fast, and it was just a lot of fun with that fire fairy. Yeah,
Fire Fairy is always nice, especially when you get up to higher magic levels and it only costs 10 or 11 to cast it. You can just kind of fairy all over and abuse the heck out of it. Good times.
I think it was still 16 at Magic 6 at the end.
Yeah, that's, probably cheaper than Fairy would have been.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it was. Yeah. Too bad Spell wasn't just in Nuke Pseudo. That would have
Right?
some time.
If ever we wanted something to be vanilla. Mariah, we have one question from chat really quick here before we start to wrap up. Do you think the polo made the difference tonight?
First of all, I'm not ready to wrap up. Psychonaut, you're going to have to stay up another 5 minutes or so. Second of all, as I said to Big Slamu came in to rattle my cage a little bit over in my own chat before we started. I'm kidding. But he said I was dressed up on Casual Fridays, and I said, well, I'm either going to win or lose in style. So I wanted to put the collared shirt on today and look official on the closing race of week 5 in our Swiss rounds here before we move to brackets. But yeah, so maybe not. I don't know. Maybe. But no, I'm not finished yet. No, jkoper, I felt like my palace routing was terrible. I was feeling like I was getting my ass kicked. I stepped out of 6 early on because I was just like, man, finally found the dragon, but I never saw the item. And I was like, I'm out of here. If this is the glove, so be it. I feel like I'm so far behind. And
yeah,
then,
I didn't get the item out of 6 either.
Okay.
But I spent a decent amount of time looking at the start and then went towards Barba instead. And, Barba was super quick to get to if you kind of just focused on that. But I felt like I spent enough time there. I didn't get 6's item and Spectacle Rock. And was that it, maybe? I may have seen everything else in the end. Not positive, but
yeah, I also dipped my head right into the very beginning of Death Mountain there, and I was looking for a quick rock because I did have the hammer on me at the time, and I didn't see a quick rock. There's just like 3 or 4 caves facing inward. That crazy. I'm assuming it was a caldera with the water, the water locked cave there.
Yeah, that's what neither one of you, like jkoper found Hammer Cave right away.
Okay.
Neither, and you never even really dipped into it, Mirai. So, but that's what I was also thinking, was that it was a caldera. We just didn't get far enough into it to actually confirm that.
Yeah, calderas do weird things like that when you sometimes have to get into the middle section. They put their caves kind of in weird spots, but
yeah,
it's cool anyway. Boots Lock Cave, that was kind of cool. You needed boots to get there anyway, so or maybe not. You might have left those behind on Maze Island, but I whatever. Death Mountain not required. When it came to GP, you were right to route left because, man, it was a convoluted, at this point, I can't even tell you how to get back there, but it was kind of a convoluted chain of elevators and junctions. I guess it was at the 4-way, just hold left,
yes.
Essentially.
Yeah, take the first left, go left to that 4-way, just hold left.
Okay.
The right was... Yeah, Mirai, you ran into a lot of loops. A few dead ends, but a lot of loops.
Yeah, it was Loop City in there, and I found Thunderbird, and then I with 2 lives and enough to cast Thunder the first time. Well, I got the jar out of the statue going up to Thunderbird's room, and then I died, and I'm on my final life, and then I get smacked twice, and I'm on beeping, and I just got to get one more hit on him. I'm like, come on, man. And so it was just 2 rooms after Thunderbird. There was so much Palace before Thunderbird that I saw, and it was like 2 rooms afterwards, and I had to do Dark Link on beeping stress. It was so nerve-wracking, dude. No lives. If I had game over, that would have been it. I'm sure that would have been the change in lead right there.
Yeah, it probably would have. jkoper, you were like in the right spot. You were not like quite going the right way yet, but it would have been a lot closer, Mirai, if you had taken that game over there. And for a second, I thought I had comms cursed you because I said that you were doing better on the second attempt on Thunderbird, and then you took that second hit, and you were down to half a bar, and I'm just like, okay, I'm shutting my mouth right now. No comms curses tonight.
What levels did you finish at?
5, 6, 7.
Okay. Yeah, I had 6, 6, 7.
I burned the last 2 gems in 4 and 5 because I just felt that I mean, that's kind of what I do anyway. If I feel comfortable at attack 5, it's fine. It's usually just fine. And I just wanted to, with all of the traversing and the journey across the east, oh my God, it just felt terrible. The spell could not have been in a worse spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a gross logic chain to get Thunder. It was not cute.
Yeah, and I don't know. I wasn't sure after I realized that I had to go all the way back up to Darunia whether I should go do P1 in Death Valley or if I should just go back to the east, back to the west, and just just go to Darunia real fast, and then finish all that down in the south? I didn't know what the right answer was. It seemed like there was additional walking, no matter which choice you made. It just felt bad across the board. In my palace, I was getting bopped by so many things and taking dumb deaths. I felt terrible. And the thing is that I have to actually use the actual start and select keys on this controller because the way I have it set up now. Normally, I have start and select set up as buttons on X and A for my Super Famicom or Super Nintendo controller, and it felt really awkward having to hit select sometimes to cast spells, and I felt really dumb. And I messed up a lot of fairy feats as a result. Yeah, I don't know. It's just the whole thing. You were right there, man. So it was like I think I was absolutely right to feel like this was coming down to the wire. But yeah, okay. Now I'm done.
Now you're done.
Yeah, it sounds like neither of us played it perfectly, but just a little more smoothly for you than me. Had I not just missed that hammer, I think that would have made a big difference. But yeah, that's my fault. Gotta be thinking about things I haven't seen. I at the end I was pretty sure I had all the caves, but I just did not think about the grass tile at all, and just like I didn't think about the desert tile at all. So yeah, those two things definitely. I think I would have been in GP first without missing those, but what can you do? Yeah, but GG, and we'll see what the bracket looks like. I don't know when that happens. Hopefully soon, so we can get working on scheduling.
Yeah, I imagine TH will probably set something up. I feel like last year it was not long after Swiss ended that we got the bracket pairings. Also, Koper, I have one more question for you before we wrap up for real this time. How'd you feel with the Trogdor sprite?
It's pretty good. It's pretty smooth. I've tried a couple times with it now, because they needed some testing. So yeah.
Cool. It was fun to see. I liked it. I thought it looked really good.
Yeah, it feels pretty smooth for the most part. It was very weird on Rebanak trying to identify the right place to put my feet, but my Rebanak fights were pretty decent, so I guess it worked out okay. We'll see if that holds true in the future, but yeah, it was all right.
Good deal. Do either of you have any final thoughts about the seed, the tournament, the brackets, anything else you've got going on?
No, I gotta go be productive first or something. Well, I'm going to a concert first, and then be productive or something. I don't know. Whatever. I gotta get going anyway. But thanks so much for the comms and tracking and whatnot, everyone involved on ZSR side. And yeah, good luck, Mirai. Hopefully we don't race again anytime soon.
What?
Bracket. I mean,
we'll see each other.
I just
we're 1-1 now. You beat me in the Max Rando tournament.
Yeah, that's true. But I was behind going into GP both times, so I just got lucky the first time. Yeah. Right. So I will talk to y'all later. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, jkoper. GG's.
GG jkoper. Thanks to Psychonaut, Royale, Warlock, all of y'all. I gotta go preheat the oven, so for realsies. So I'll
preheat the oven time. All right. Yeah. Well, GG's to you both. Thank you so much. Follow our runners, MiRai, jkoper. Follow our tracker, Warlock 2019. You can follow me if you want. I'm pretty boring. I don't stream yet. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to my buddy Psychonaut for all of the ZSR news.
Well, that was a great match to end things off on. Thanks to Royale for the excellent commentary. Make sure you go follow her. Really enjoyed this along. And GG's, of course, to jkoper and to MiRai for that excellent matchup. That concludes the Swiss portion of the standard tournament. Information about what's coming up next will happen over on the Zelda 2 Randomizer Discord. Links for that in the chat, so make sure you're going, clicking through, and keeping up with all of that. I can tell you about what I do know about, though, and that is we are still up the walls with tournament action here on Zelda Speedruns. We have got some, I'll call out 2 matches in particular that are really grabbing my attention. Tomorrow at about 10 a.m. Eastern on Zelda Speedruns 1, we have the Majora's Mask Randomizer Standard Tournament Season 3 Winners Bracket Round 2 matchup between Retro Nika and Skyward. And then happening at about 2 o'clock Eastern, we have a Clash of the Titans in the Link to the Past Randomizer Cross Keys Tournament with the 6-0 matchup between Goomba and Illis. All the information about that will be on the schedule. And hey, if you're new around here, maybe drop us a follow. It really helps to support us and, you know, keeps you updated for when we go live. For the moment, though, we are just going to go ahead and sign off for the night. So get out of here, go do what you need to do. Go pet a dog. That's probably the best thing to do. Thank you all so much for watching. My name is Psychonaut, and have a fantastic rest of your time zone. Bye-bye now.